gonna fucking cost you.
You scraping at the door? Scraping at the door!
If we were on Earth, we would have a glorious planet to live on. Thrive on!
Every duck's got his limit, and you scum have pushed me over the line.
Oh, God. Going through these Marvel movies has been tougher than I thought it would be. And these copyright claims aren't helping either. And, you know, I'm starting to wonder if maybe it wasn't a good idea to lambast a powerful executive at a studio that one day will probably own the Earth itself. Guess I probably shouldn't think about it. Let's just finish this stuff up. What are we doing here? Ooh, and I know just the thing to watch. X-Men Origins, here we come. What? No, that's not what I want.
Everything they built will fall!
That's better.
Everything they built!
No, damn it, I don't want to do something new and interesting. That'd be way too much. I just want to rail on a movie that everybody else has already railed on. I already know what I'm going to talk about. Gotta talk about the cartoon claws and the bad Deadpool that doesn't matter anymore. But wait. I guess nothing before Days of Future Past really matters anymore, does it? X-Men Origins was so bad that Fox decided they needed to defibrillate the franchise with time travel. What's the point in even reviewing it? They could have fixed everything. They finally had an opportunity to fix the X-Men franchise.
And from the ashes of their world, we'll build a better one!
And oh God, they fucked it up already. I guess I gotta do this. Or, you know, I could go outside and enjoy my remaining years.
Everything they built will fall!
Hello everybody, and welcome back to another episode of Bad Movie Touch, the only show on the internet that fights through a copyright claim only to realize there was an audio issue with the video. Always pre-screen, kids. I mean, always pre-screen your videos. I don't know why I said kids. Oh God, this is a disaster already. Speaking of disasters, Fox! The studio, so adamant to keep hold of their Marvel property that they allowed horrible misfires like X-Men Origins to come into existence. And then eventually Disney was like, ugh, fine, we'll just buy you. What a funny end to the story, right? It's totally not alarming that Disney continues to gobble up other studios and streamline their process, ultimately allowing fewer films to be produced. It's so funny, right? And you know, it's a shame because Fox has made some really great movies.
Not all of us can control our powers.
Then don't. This is war.
And then they make things like this that make you question what we're even doing with these superhero movies anymore. Like, what's the point? This movie alone could have caused the superhero movie crash everybody keeps talking about. If it weren't for creative decisions on Marvel's part, everything would be like this, and everybody would be miserable. I mean, more miserable. Have you watched the news lately? This episode of The Twilight Zone fucking blows.
We're in the Twilight Zone, and here's what I would say. I'm told I should shut up, but I will not shut up if that's okay.
This is not okay.
So let's just dive into this thing that's not even gonna matter once Kevin Feige pulls the plug on our old mutant grandma and reboots everything with Cyclops being played by Zac Efron, probably. Yeah, I'm so ready for Apocalypse. Not the character, the event where we all eventually turn into dust. Really looking forward to that one. So we start out in the land of pretentious narration.
Give someone wings and they may fly too close to the sun. Give them power, give someone they may imagine and they may fly.
And oh look, it's one of those movies where they think that people in Egypt were just a bunch of tan white dudes. It's my favorite. Let's get Christian Bale and the orc from Brighton here. Stat!
Yes!
Admittedly, this opening scene is kind of half cool. There's this frenetic rush of action, but it's offset by this terrible CGI. And oh my god, that guy has the power to turn people into skeletons. He can turn people into mythical creatures. He must be stopped. This whole thing happens for one reason: to show Oscar Isaac in person at least once before he gets slathered in blue makeup for the rest of the film. And it's good that they did this, because otherwise you might not be able to tell, because this doesn't really look like him. This doesn't look like anybody. I don't know what the fuck this thing is. This looks like a weird dumb creature that managed to join the Blue Man Group. I actually really like Apocalypse. He's like one of my favorite comic villains, so I'm probably gonna get heated here at some point, just so you know. Anyway, all of these people fall and everybody gets crushed by something. It's kind of hilarious.
Drop it. Yeah.
Then, of course, it's time for the overly long X-Men intro title sequence, showing us how much has changed since the Egypt times. In case you didn't know, a lot's changed. We start out proper with an introduction to this new version of Cyclops, played by the kid from Ready Player One. I'm really starting to think he's only allowed to take roles where his eyes are covered by something. Can't wait for the reboot of Once Upon a Time in Mexico with this kid playing Johnny Depp's character.
I can't see.
That actually wouldn't be a bad thing. Can we just stop putting Johnny Depp in anything? Ever. I'm not gonna watch the fucking Crimes of Grindelwald. That title is so goddamn stupid. This generic Willy gets angry at Scott here because he thinks he's winking at his girlfriend, and he tries to get him in this bathroom stall, which apparently has the strongest wooden door ever created. And just for the sake of making things more interesting, let's say he kills this kid. Moving on, and then we move on to Moulin Rouge Fight Club, and we meet even more characters: Nightcrawler Angel and Jennifer Lawrence. She looks like herself for most of the movie, and she kind of phones in her performance, so let's just say she's playing herself, why not? She helps Nightcrawler escape after he manages to damage Angel's wing by getting him up against the electric fence. And honestly, why has no one else tried this? He's got big wings and he's in a tiny cage. Throw him into the wall. There you go, you won. They run away and Mystique does this transformation that's edited so badly that it honestly hurts my head.
Sie sind da lang! Sie sind die Straße!
What the fuck was that? But why was that shot like that? Why was that edited like that? Did Jennifer Lawrence just not want to put on makeup or do the transformations? I'm just kidding. I already know that's what it is. Seriously, no one wants to be in this movie. Anything that requires just a little extra commitment has everyone going, nah, I'll just sit this one out. Anyway, next we go to Poland to see what Magneto is up to. You know, it's great. We're 20 minutes in, and so far this movie's just been introducing people and giving us some weird fan fiction version of the Prince of Egypt. It's great, fantastic, I love it, 5 stars. He works in a factory now and has a family, so you know, they're gonna die. What? Oh, sorry, spoilers. They're gonna be perfectly fine, and then Magneto's gonna be very happy, and he's not gonna have any reason to participate in the plot. They're dead, they're gonna die.
I learned it from my parents. And they learned it from their parents. And then from theirs. And one day, you'll sing it to your children too.
Okay, yeah, you sure will. You sure will. So Cyclops' brother, who hasn't aged in 20 years, decides that they need to go and see the professor, who also hasn't aged in 20 years. And oh look, it's Beast, who also remains unchanged since the 60s. Why are all of these movies set in different decades, yet nobody looks like a raisin?
Other than Apocalypse.
Like, Mystique makes sense, she can look like whatever. That doesn't really bother me that much, but why has James McAvoy aged maybe like 5 years in the course of 2 decades? When is age gonna smack him so hard that it turns him into Patrick Stewart? That must be right around the corner. Somehow. Anyway, we also meet Sophie Turner trying... Oh boy, she's trying.
Who are you talking to?
Me.
I just heard you in my head.
I'm telepathic. I read minds.
Well, stay out of mine. I don't need some weird girl creeping around in there.
Don't worry, Scott. There's not much to see.
There's not much to see.
Not much to see.
Actually cracked my jaw doing that. Great. Let's just pass some sort of law saying that Game of Thrones actors who weren't already big names before the show just aren't allowed to be in other things. Like, did you guys see Terminator Genisys? It's okay, I know you didn't.
I can't leave him.
Cyclops meets Professor X and they try to do a funny.
My grandfather planted that tree when he was 5 years old. I used to swing from the branches of it myself. I think that was probably my favorite tree.
They aren't good at the funny.
Does that mean I'm expelled?
Oh, on the contrary. You're enrolled.
That's a really stupid question. Are you you can't be expelled. You don't go there. Your first time being there is this day. You came there like an hour ago. I'm seriously questioning what qualifies Professor Xavier's selection process here. Oh, you could be a possible weapon of mass destruction just by using your body. You're in. Gotta build up my secret child army. Maybe just stay away from Professor X. Don't go near him. Did you see Split? But it's okay because we're about to get to something really funny because Ivan Ooze, I didn't watch Power Rangers growing up, that's the only reference you're getting, is woken up by action star Rose Byrne because she forgot to close the goddamn door. This kind of justifies hopping all over the world for the first chunk of the movie because it lets you see this event on a large scale, like all over the world. It almost gives you hope that this movie might match the scale of the Apocalypse storylines in comics. But then you remember that Apocalypse looks like a mutated Tobias Funke and the Sads come.
No, I'm afraid I just blew myself.
I mean, look at it. That's dumb. That looks stupid. It even sets the plot in motion finally as Magneto outs himself as a mutant because he saves this guy. Oh no. What a horrible thing to do. I'm sure this won't have any negative consequences, to be honest. Oh my god. Very gracious. I know you saved me and all, but we have no use for someone who can control metal at this factory that seems to produce metal. Kill the kid. This scene is actually really powerful and incredibly dumb. Michael Fassbender gives a great performance as always, but the image of Magneto murdering a group of soldiers with a locket that contains an image of his family and then screaming into the sky walks the tightrope of great scene and unintentionally hilarious scene.
Is this what you want from me?
And to be honest, I still don't know what side it falls on.
What am I fighting for?
Anyway, while that's going on, they try to push the Dark Phoenix saga on us again. Come on, we ain't got time, guys. The mouse is encroaching. We gotta push this shit out. Get to the good stuff. Who keeps letting them watch Terminator 2? She's gonna burn down the whole house, damn it. And then this line happens, and it's so unintentionally funny.
Moira. What? Moira McTaggart? Mm-hmm. Give me the details.
She looks amazing. She's barely aged today.
Yeah, just her. She's the only one who hasn't aged today. Does this mean he thinks he looks so much older than he does? Or does he look into the mirror every day and wonder what curse leaves him permanently locked in this stasis? I don't know. It's just kind of hard to gauge here. And then Apocalypse walks around looking just absolutely ridiculous. I'm pretty sure people laughed out loud when I saw this in the theater, and I cannot blame them. We meet the new Storm, and Apocalypse decapitates people with sand from the wall? Also, he makes this guy into the wall. You know, in the comics, Apocalypse wields many wonderful powers. Among his most cherished is his ability to toggle no clip. He learns English from the TV in this scene that establishes a big trend.
One of them was held in Boston and Bruce Norton.
But since the advent of nuclear weapons, the United States does not start fights.
Never before has man possessed so much power. Soviet Union and the United States being superpowers.
Superpowers.
Creativity, no. Renewal. Creativity, no. Renewal. Creativity, no. Renewal.
The Dark Man took my son.
All of his scenes are hilarious. He does that thing that always happens in movies where he learns about how shitty the world is through the TV and then decides that he needs to do something and then he turns Storm's hair white because? Apocalypse is just a really big X-Men comic fan and he's here to make sure everybody looks proper. I mean, except for him, he's allowed to look like an infected toe, but Anyway, while he's doing that, we're treated to a lovely exposition dump by Rose Byrne with James McAvoy occasionally butting in. Yes, that totally hasn't been a running theme in the Marvel shit series, or the show in general. What am I doing with my life? God damn. Jennifer Lawrence and not Alan Cumming go to see Stephen Merchant's character from Logan, except now he's played by the most terrifying man I've ever seen in my life.
Caliban likes you so much,
He wants to give you free information about an old friend from back when you had friends.
Look how happy I am!
And look, we meet even more characters. Oh, hi, Olivia Munn. You're gonna be here. Okay, par for the course at this point, I guess.
Okay, go ahead.
Wait, sorry, no. Okay.
Fun, love, creativity, no renewal, creativity, no renewal, creativity.
I can see. Thank you.
Trust me, that's far more interesting than anything that actually happens in the movie. And Sophie Turner's American accent tells Cyclops that all these people at the school are afraid of her. And I don't get this. Why would anybody care at this place? One of the teachers turns into a blue furry. Who cares if you can control shit with your mind? Hell, if anything, that's more of a reason to befriend her immediately. She might be able to set you on fire from the inside. You should start kissing ass right away. And then, of course, Jennifer Lawrence and Nicholas Hoult talk about how great it is that neither of them has to wear blue makeup because nobody gives a shit this time.
You're...
Not blue? Looks like you and I have that in common now.
No, I meant, you're back. Never thought I'd see you here again.
Yeah, me neither.
I'm blue.
Okay, that scene is legitimately charming. Congratulations, you get a point. I'll be taking that point away later because we're almost an hour in and we should be at like maybe the half-hour point at the worst, so you're really dragging my time out here. Apocalypse gives Olivia Munn increased powers because I guess this is just what he does. And any random mutant stranger who happens to come by him, he's like, yeah, you're a good enough fit. I'll give you powers. You could be a horseman. But hey, now maybe at least something interesting might happen.
What do we say we take this blue guy on a little field trip? I'm sure there's a mall around here somewhere.
Oh, never fucking mind. I guess we're going to the mall. Okay, yeah, okay. Back to Apocalypse, who finds Angel drinking in the dark and listening to Metallica, or as we call it in my household, he pulls a dad. I mean, that's a joke, obviously. My dad doesn't listen to Metallica. He also doesn't really drink. He watches these. Apocalypse fixes Angel's messed up wing in the most horrifying way possible. God, what is it with Angel and showing shit that makes you want to squirm? Like, do you remember the opening to X-Men 3? Yeah, like, what the shit? That scene scarred me for years afterwards. It's just like, every time I think about it, I just randomly think about it in the night. I'd be like, why? Why, Brett Ratner? Coincidentally, not the only time I'm thinking in my head, why, Brett Ratner? It's pretty much any time he does, anything. At all. Anyway, then Jennifer Lawrence and Nicholas Hoult have a conversation where it seems like they're sedated. No one cared. It's simple. No one cared. I guess the director was busy molesting underage extras. Sorry. So sorry about that. That was heavy. Allegedly. I guess the director was busy allegedly molesting underage extras. There we go. That's better. Magneto goes back to work and tells everybody his true name.
My name is Magneto.
You bet it is, buddy. You're doing great. He gears up to kill everybody, and then Apocalypse shows up and...
Who the fuck are you?
Good question. I don't really know either. He keeps saying he's Apocalypse, but that guy looks way cooler. Once he said he was Oscar Isaac, but come on, that guy's a great actor. There's no way this could be him. Apocalypse sends everybody to the sunken place, and then they leave to go to... Oh, yay. What a fun place to revisit. So fun. Apocalypse gets Magneto mad at Auschwitz because he really needed a reason for that. And then Magneto destroys Auschwitz and it looks fucking terrible. And Apocalypse gives that speech that was in all the trailers.
Everything they will the ashes of the world!
Those trailers made you think that, maybe something would lead up to this. Maybe there'd be like this chain of events, this build up to this big speech, this culminating moment. But nope, just round up a few idiots and blow up a concentration camp. I'm an angry yelling moron now. And I'm definitely an angry yelling moron now. This movie That's not what he looks like. It's not what Apocalypse looks like. Gee, I love that they took this cool character that oftentimes rules over the entire world for extended periods of time and has all these amazing powers and intellect and all that stuff. They took that cool setup and they turned him into a California raisin in a dress. It's fantastic. And Fox knows quite a few things about being fantastic, don't they?
How about two guys, a girl, and the thing that nobody wanted?
I had to look up clips for Fan Force Stick just for that bit. You're welcome.
Was it worth it? No, it wasn't.
So Quicksilver shows up at an hour into the movie to remind us that he's still in this franchise. But Professor X takes Rose Byrne to the mansion and keeps dodging the fact that she's been there before and he's wiped her memory. You might want to bring that up at some point. Xavier even gets to talk to Jennifer Lawrence and point out that she's not in her blue makeup because the script was written around everybody not giving a shit. They all go to Cerebro so that Xavier can find Magneto, but this turns out to be a horrible decision because Apocalypse almost immediately takes over Xavier's mind and then launches all the world's nukes into the air and shouts like an idiot about disarming the world.
No more stones. No more spears. No more slings. No more swords. No more weapons. No more systems. No more. No more
creativity. Listen, several of the things you mentioned have very practical uses. Maybe we could just introduce some kind of legislation or something. Also, why is this the exact same plot of Superman 4, The Quest for Peace? Maybe that's it. This actually isn't Oscar Isaac. Oscar Isaac's gonna show up as Nuclear Man later. Movie ends with Oscar Isaac in a Nuclear Man costume. Movie ends with Oscar Isaac in... Oh, hi Stan Lee. So glad you showed up in this and not in Deadpool 2. This was clearly the higher quality product. Then they blow up Cerebro, Apocalypse comes and steals Professor X, and Havoc decides to shoot the jet engine that was just lying open. You know, great call on that, Nicholas Hoult. It was a really smart move in a school where some students might just randomly explode. Side note, there is an X-Men character whose power is that he can explode, but only once. Like, it'll kill him and he won't like come back to life or anything. And I just think that's great. I really wish all the movies were centered around him instead of fucking Wolverine. Just every movie you think he's finally gonna use his power and at the last minute somebody else saves the day. It's like, woo, 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 woo. You guys ready for the cool Quicksilver scene that I guess this movie had to have because the last one had one? Well, here it is. Except this time it's set to Sweet Dreams and it's filled with terrible CG and it's really long. And it makes me want to drink Drano so I can get this over with faster. So the other mutants come back and Scott goes off to find his dead brother. And oh my god, I forgot what Mystique looked like in makeup. I thought I wasn't gonna see it in this movie. That was pretty jarring, I'm sorry. And then, oh yay, another fucking character shows up and steals a bunch of mutants. What are you doing with your spare time, Warboy from Fury Road? Go back to Mad Max, that franchise is much better. And then they randomly try to have this emotional scene and it just doesn't work because Sophie Turner's performance is horrible and I don't care about any of these characters because I met many of them the first time several scenes ago.
It should have been me. He was the one that was going to do something with his life. He was always the one.
That's not how he felt. He felt you were the one that was going to do something special with your life. I know what everybody feels.
How do you know what he felt?
I know what everybody feels. I know what everybody feels.
It sucks, except for Nightcrawler. You're great as always. While that's going on, Apocalypse has everybody gathered for a lovely picture. Seriously, why are they all standing on levels? They're all perfectly perched for this pristine moment. Apocalypse seems like that version of a gangster that only exists in movies. You know, the ones that are like tough and menacing, but they also have perfectly styled hair and a fancy jacket. Presentation is very important to the withered up corpse of Violet from Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory. Trust me, guys. He tells Xavier to deliver a message, and while that's going on, Wolverine decides to show up, because of course he fucking does. It's an X-Men movie, we can't just not have Wolverine, even though the best one of these is still the one where he only showed up for one scene.
Go fuck yourself.
Anyway, he brutally murders a lot of people, and Xavier pulls a fast one on Apocalypse by not delivering his message and instead delivering a message to inspire hope. I mean, I think it's to inspire hope. It's probably just confusing to most people on Earth, to be honest. Hey, honey, are you also eavesdropping on some weird conversation? Oh, okay, just wanted to make sure. What's for dinner?
Hope that's the last we've seen of that guy.
Oh yeah, then Apocalypse destroys a city to make himself a pyramid? Oh no, the budget is spiraling out of control. Somebody please stop! What is going on with the special effects in this movie? Did they have to funnel all that budget into making sure that Oscar Isaac didn't look like a mighty bean in a kilt? Because it didn't fucking work. So the X-Men decide that they need to steal a jet and great. Colorless, boring costumes. Just what everybody wanted more of from this franchise. You really know what we're looking for.
But I was scared on my first mission. I was on a plane like this with my friends. About your age.
When I was about your age. So, you know, a few years ago, but also 2 decades ago. It's funny how time works here. So then Magneto starts pulling all the metal out of the Earth and just sort of floating there with it. He's not really like attacking or doing anything. You know, I'm starting to think Apocalypse's plan starts and ends with fuck shit up. And turns out Apocalypse did all this just so he could transfer into yet another body, that of Xavier. This way he can finally gain the most important mutant power of all. The inability to move his legs. Seriously, Apocalypse, I don't really think you're thinking this one through. You know, there's other people that you might want to go into. Maybe Jean Grey, for example. She's got some mental powers. Maybe you don't go for the guy who is wheelchair bound. To be honest, the next half hour or so of the movie is just a bunch of boring fights on a sound stage while we finally arrive at what this entire trilogy has been leading up to. Bald Professor X, we finally did it, we're here, fuck yeah! And then Jennifer Lawrence gives a tear-worthy speech. I mean, I'm tearing up from lack of interest. Why are you crying?
I know you think you've lost everything, but you haven't. You have me. You have Charles.
What kind of an enticing speech is this? I know you've lost everything, but you still have me. Some lady you haven't seen in 10 years and probably don't even like that much based on the last time we saw each other.
Surprise, motherfucker!
They get Xavier and try to get away, but Angel and Olivia Munn catch up, and then Sophie suggests having an orgy.
Never done it with this many people.
It's okay, don't be shy, Nightcrawler. We're all a little nervous of it. Oh, that's not what she was talking about, was it? Oh shit, they just murdered Angel. I guess they got to the end and they're like, who's still left that we can kill off and no one will care about? No, what's that? Anyone? We didn't make any of these people likable? Ah shit, we did it again, guys. This part of the scene is,
Get down!
Professor, it's okay, you're with us. It's okay.
Xavier and Apocalypse have a fight in Xavier's mind, and Apocalypse grows huge. And wouldn't that be cool if that was one of his powers? Because it fucking is! It's so cool that he only does it in this dream fight. This scene only exists to push Dark Phoenix on us again so Jean can defeat Apocalypse with the help of all the other X-Men and Magneto, who I guess decided that Jennifer Lawrence's dead-eyed words worked on him. Together they blow up Apocalypse. You know what? He's not that much of a threat. In the comics, he's sort of this immortal thing. You can't really stop him. You can sort of subdue him for a little bit, but ultimately he's this thing that's gonna keep coming at you. That's why he's so cool. In this universe, all you have to do is turn up the heat. Great, I love it. It's fantastic. I'm totally not upset that you got a great actor to play a cool character and turned him into a crushed blueberry. I'm fine. And then Olivia Munn just walks away, never to be seen again. Okay, great. It was nice having you. See you again when Shane Black ruins The Predator. You know, after 3 other directors already ruined The Predator. Charles decides to give Rose Byrne her memories back, and for some reason she isn't like, oh my god, you used your powers to erase a chunk of my memory for your own personal gain. This raises serious questions about how often you've done this and for what purposes. I'm a little uncomfortable here. Nope, we can't talk about that. It's time for a happy ending, guys. So they rebuild the school. Magneto stares at a student in a way that should probably be addressed by somebody at some point, and Xavier and Magneto part as old friends. You know, despite the fact that Magneto regularly participates in eradicating large numbers of people. But you know what, it's fine, just let him go. And hey, we even get some kind of comic-accurate costumes and a rousing half-dead speech from J-Law.
Forget everything you think you know. Whatever lessons you learned in school, whatever your parents taught you, none of that matters. You're not kids anymore. You're not students. You're X-Men.
It's like this was the last day of shooting and they were dangling her paycheck just off stage. Like, come on, finish up, let's go. But hey, at least we finally got the costumes, which they seem to have already ditched entirely in the next movie. You know, thanks, Fox. You really know what I want. You know, I don't even care that Bob Iger's your dad now. So how do I feel about this movie? Well, I'll let this clip from earlier describe it.
I'm just saying, Empire is still the best. It's the most complex, the most sophisticated. Wasn't afraid to have a dark ending.
Yeah, but come on, if it wasn't for the first one, you wouldn't have any of the rest of the movies.
Well, at least we can all agree the third one's always the worst.
That's their joke at X-Men 3. That's their funny way of going, haha, yeah, third movies are the worst, but we're doing so much better now, right? They had the balls to call out X-Men 3 while also being a boring-ass slog of a third movie in a trilogy. That is some premium comedy, hallelujah. So should you watch this? I don't know, do you like being underwhelmed for 2.5 hours? Because if not, then you should probably avoid it at all costs. It's not bad in an entertaining way, it's just kind of a boring mishandling of what could have been a really cool story. And all these X-Men movies are probably going to be wiped from existence pretty soon anyway, so you know what, don't watch this. Just go ahead and watch First Class, or Days of Future Past, or Logan, or the Deadpool movies. Just watch the good Fox properties, like Fantastic Four. Thanks so much for joining me in my little Marvel experiment. They're kind of killing it in the superhero movie world right now, so I thought it'd be fun to examine a few of their duds. It was just a fun little thing I wanted to do, and I hope you guys liked it. But now, of course, it's time to turn our attention to the spooky season. In the next episode, we're talking Halloween Resurrection, so come back for all that goodness, because you know you want to see that. And as we part on our dear friends, the Fox X-Men, I guess there's really only one question left to ask. Who wrote the Toad line? Seriously.
Do you know what happens to a toad when it's struck by lightning? The same thing that happens to everything else.
I want to know who's responsible, damn it. Who let this happen? I need to know. Whatever. I'm off to be acquired by Disney. Goodbye, everybody. Thanks so much for watching, guys. Did you like this? If you did, be sure to leave a like on it down below. That really helps me out, as do comments and shares. Maybe comment down below with a movie suggestion for a movie you'd like me to check out, or maybe leave some feedback. I love that I've been getting that from you guys lately. It really means the world to me that you're helping me out. If you want to keep up with the show and be notified when new episodes come out, then you can subscribe. And if you want to help me make it, then you can head over to my Patreon. You also get cool rewards like your name on this end screen here and lots of other cool stuff. So head on over there if you want to find out more about that. You can also follow me on Twitter, but that's probably a horrible mistake on your part. I'll be linking that as well as the GoFundMe for my movie down below. Thank you so much, guys, for the continued love and support. It really means the world to me. Working on the Halloween episode. That's going to be up soon enough. So yeah, I will see you guys soon. Peace out. Not the character, the event where we all eventually turn into dust. Really looking forward to that one. That fucking hurt.